Welcome again to the Pilot's Lounge, where you hear all the stories. And when I had my flying business, I had to come up with promotions to get my name and name of the company out, to get air charter business, student business, sell airplanes and whatever. Now this story and promotion I just happened to back into. I can't get any credit for coming up with something that is real. It just happened. I was at a local coffee shop with a bunch of pilots. We were having breakfast, and the subject of the day was when the planets are going to line up in just a few days. And that was back in 1978. I think it was during March. And everybody was just really, the newspapers were full of it, the radio, the TV. People were practically panicking because the paranormal people and some of the people from other areas were saying that when the planets lined up, that will be the end of the world. So over at the shopping centers, I was hearing you guys yelling, "Repent, repent." The end is coming. Repent, the end is coming. You heard that all over. The paranormal people, the really religious people, with all praying that the world is going to end at that time when they line the planets lined up, the main planets of the universe. And we were discussing this at breakfast, and one of the gentlemen there said, "Hey, Ernie, what are you going to do when the planets line up?" I said, "Well, I'm going to fly to find a new world." "You're going to what?" "Yeah, I'm going to hop in an airplane and get my family and friends. We're going to fly like Noah did. He went around until he found a new world. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to fly around and find." And I didn't know that a gentleman was a newscaster sitting in the booth right behind me. And when he heard that, he rushed out of the place, and I never knew. Later I thought about how did they get this information. He was with one of the radio stations, going to do his newscast, and then he told the whole story. And Ernie at Shawnee Airways has it all solved for his family. They're going to get into an airplane, they're going to find a new world and populate the new world. Well, that became what they call viral. Every radio station, TV station, newspapers, even the Cleveland Plain Dealer, the Columbus Plain Dealer, jumped on it. And I started getting calls, and for about 2 days I was answering the telephone, say, "Yes, that's what we're going to do." And then I started thinking about it, and I spent a lot of time trying to dream up promotions to promote my business and to get free publicity. And here it's been handed to me on a platter. That's okay. I'm going to play this for all it's worth, because it's not costing me a dime. I'll take about 5 or 6 of my airplanes, and then on the day that the planets are supposed to line up, well, today's preceding that, I will announce in the paper, which I did, and to the TV stations, I sent notices out that we are selling tickets for seats on the airplanes flying to find a new world. That became news. Next thing you know, for about 3 days, we started getting people coming in, lining up at the terminal building to buy tickets on the flight to find a new world. Got a lot of good publicity out of it for my business. Well, then what happens? Well, we set up a place in the terminal building with a table and cash register and all of that, with a big sign. "Buy your tickets for the flight to find a new world. Cash only, no checks." So next thing I know, people are coming in and lining up, and had a doctor come in, wearing his scrubs, carrying his medical case, and he wanted to buy a ticket because you're going to need a doctor if you find a new world. We had things like an electrician, a carpenter, a musician, a barber, people from all walks of life, just plain people that were scared to death, and they wanted to fly with us to find a new world. So we got a lot of publicity out of that one. And all the TV, newspapers, everybody was involved, taking pictures and filming and doing broadcasts right at the terminal building with all these people coming in. So we sold the ticket. We had 6 or 7 airplanes, I remember, and we sold out every seat on the airplanes. In fact, we had 2 gals come in. Well, they tottered in, I should say, on high heels, and my wife was sitting next to me, and she was writing the names down and phone numbers and all, taking the money and giving them a little ticket we'd made up in our little print shop. And these 2 gals were saying, "You're going to need a recreation department, and we will start your recreation department." Says, "You know, boys will be boys." My wife looks up, "I'm sorry, we're sold out." So we didn't get a recreation department off of that one. Then we had one unusual lady come in. She is a hefty lady, and she is one of those gals with the big hair. And she pushed her way to the front of the line. She bought a ticket. Then she announced to the crowd, "I am a mental navigator. I am going to be in the first airplane, and I am going to mentally navigate this airplane and the other airplanes to the new world. And I will find it for you." People are clapping, and yay, cheering her on. Well, she said, "Then I'm going to sit with Ernie. He's going to sit on the left seat. I'm going to sit on the right seat of the co-pilot seat. I'm going to tell him where to go. I'm going to get the words from the seagulls and the birds. They're going to tell me." I said, "Oh boy." I told her, "Well, I'm sorry, but the government man says that we have to have a crew member in the right seat." And she got a little testy about that. But anyway, she calmed down. I said, "Okay, what we'll do, we'll set you by a window seat. And you can navigate all you want." So we loaded up on the day that the planets were supposed to we're about an hour before they're supposed to line up. I don't know how they knew that precisely, but they did. So we're boarding all the people that had signed up, and I was in the lead airplane, and I had a neighbor sitting in the co-pilot seat because he asked, he paid for it, wanted to sit there with me. "Yeah, sure." And this lady comes in, and she plops down in the seat that we had saved for her, right by a window, our mental navigator. So I told him, "Okay, now, my co-pilot's going to be a guy by the name of Chuck. And I said, 'Chuck, you keep an eye on her now, and make sure she stays in her seat while he's okay.'" So I also had a little ceremony where I lined my pilots up, and I whispered to them, "If any of you guys laugh or smile at what I'm going to say, you're going to be in for it." So I went down the line, shaking hands with each pilot and wishing them Godspeed, and may we meet again in the new world. And the guy cracked a smile. That was the first part. We're doing well now. We're following the script. I get in the lead airplane, and I lead the cavalcade of airplanes out to the main runway. And so I wanted to make a spectacular departure. So I held the brakes, ran the engines up to full power like the military type takeoff, released the brakes and held the airplane down until we had a lot of speed. And then I pulled it up real sharp to make a spectacular takeoff to the new world, to the media. Everybody was there filming, recording this historic flight to the new world. Unfortunately, I heard a scream. I looked back, and our mental navigator, the seat had not been latched on the front latch. And because she's a hefty gal, the seat went back. When I looked back, there she was, laying on her back in the seat and screaming, "We're all going to die. The airplane's coming apart. It's breaking up." I even got scared and looked out the windows to see if my wings were still on. They were. So I told Chuck, "Get back and calm her down. She's going to panic all these passengers." I had the airplane. I said, oh yeah, here Chuck, take these donuts. They were donuts that the last pilot who flew the airplane had left there from, maybe a day, so they're day-old donuts. Take these back to her. And when she screams, give her a donut. And that worked. So it took about 3 of the passengers after we leveled off to get her back up and latch the seat. So she is still mumbling about it. When she opens her mouth to talk, give her another donut. That kept her quiet through the whole flight. So all the airplanes followed, and we went in a kind of a loose formation, went above the overcast, and the weather was not getting any better. So we flew around for approximately an hour and a half, and we had to come down in the weather, all make instrument approaches and all, so we really didn't see anything. No planets lighting up, no nothing. But that's a story. But actually the press coverage continued. And my navigator, mental navigator, she was saying, she's listening to the birds and the seagulls, and she'd say, okay, go that way. Okay, I told the other guys, go ahead and land, I'll follow what my mental navigator is saying. So she would put out which way to go, turn that way. No, the eagles are over here. They're saying that, so we'd turn that way. Or the hawks are that way. We'd go that way. So anyway, it all wound up. We landed safely. And of course, I bid all the passengers Godspeed and have a great day, great night, and be careful driving. Thank you for flying with us here at Shawnee Airways. But unfortunately, we didn't see the planets lined up because of the weather. And anyway, that's what happened on our flight to find a new world. But one thing came out of it. We got plenty of publicity that really helped my business, and it was a promotion that I had never in the world dreamed up. But until it was presented to me, handed to me on a plate, and I had to do it. It was a lot of fun, and for many, many months, there was a lot of talk around the airport about our flight to find the new world.